Order in the court. The Honourable Mr. Jill T. Azell presiding.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Very well. This court is now in session for the trial of Daniel James Howell. Is the prosecution ready?
Yes, sir, it is, sir. The prosecution is ready, sir, and is firing on all cylinders, sir.
Splendid. And is the defence...
We love you, Dan!
We're all behind you, Dan!
We ship Dan and Phil forever!
Ready? I repeat, is the defence ready?
Well, duh, sure, I'm totally ready. It's what I'm here for.
If I might interject, young lady, aren't you a little young to be a defence counsel?
Oh, no way! I just turned 13. I'm, grown up.
You are? What about qualifications?
Qualifications? Okay. I'm, totally grown up.
No. I mean, are you qualified as a barrister?
Hey, this is discrimination. I can do this easy. I've watched, every episode of Judge Judy. This'll be a cinch.
Oh. Clerk of the court, is there a legal degree in Judge Judy episodes?
Your Honour?
I asked if there is a legal degree in Judge Judy episodes.
Yes, Your Honour. I thought that was what you asked. Not that I'm aware of. And with respect, I would not have thought televised court proceedings would provide a legal education of sufficient rigour.
Wouldn't it?
Not in my view.
Well, that's bad news for me. I only got my 25 SC from what I picked up watching Crown Court through the summer of 1973.
Oh. May I ask, my lord? I'm unfamiliar with the 25 MSc doctorate.
Did I say 25 SC? My apologies. That means 25 meters swimming certificate. My proudest sporting achievement in school, I'll have you know. Now, where were we? Oh yes, prosecution, please present your opening statement.
Yes, Your Honour. The accused, Daniel James Howell, is charged under the 1987 September CITV Act with causing anger and disruption amongst the Knightmare fan community. On the 4th of August 2013, a YouTube video was uploaded on a channel named Ashens, owned by the popular YouTuber Stuart Ashen. It was titled Knightmare TV Show Remake, a remake of the TV classic Knightmare in celebration of a YouTube event known as GeekWeek. The aforementioned Mr. Howell starred in the aforementioned video as one of 3 advisors, tasked with guiding the aforementioned Mr. Ashen around a renewed dungeon of deceit, in which the aforementioned Knightmare television programme was always played. However, the aforementioned Mr. Howell's atrocious behaviour and attitude while starring the aforementioned video caused much upset in the aforementioned Knightmare community, many of whom claimed the aforementioned Mr. Howell has ruined the chance for the aforementioned great show to ever be remade again. The aforementioned finest show of the 1990s has now been tarnished by this utterly appalling, and I quote, emo teen.
Hey, Dan isn't even a teen.
Silence!
Prosecution, may I remind you that it is not your job to silence the defence.
This man is a terrible excuse of a Knightmare fan. It is even shocking enough that he so claims to be one. He should be locked up in the Tower of London and should never see the light of day again! That is all, Your Honour.
Well, that was certainly a powerful statement from the prosecution. You must be very passionate about the matter.
Of course I am, Your Honour. Knightmare was my childhood. You only have to look at the show to understand its value. It contains superb technological innovation, smart and clever dialogue, and red-hot high-paced action. It turned children's interest towards British history and decent works of fantasy. Introduced us to the importance in our cynical modern era that we can still lose ourselves in a grand adventure of limitless possibilities, and it made us remind ourselves that the virtues of knighthood still have their place here and now, and shall continue to for the foreseeable future.
Hear, hear.
All right. Much as I appreciate the sentiment, prosecution, we need to push on with these proceedings, lest they outlast my natural lifespan. We shall now call the defendant to the stand. Order! Please. Defence, if you can't control your rowdy side of the court, we shall have to ask them to leave.
What's wrong with a little support?
And defendant, please refrain from making sarcastic remarks, otherwise you shall be held in contempt.
Defendant, do you swear that the evidence you give in this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do solemnly and sincerely and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Now, please state your name, age, and occupation to the court.
Fine. I'm Dan Howell, 23 years old. I'm the YouTuber Dan is not on fire.
And how do you respond to these charges held against you?
Let's see. Oops.
You, young sir, are treading on thin ice here. I should warn you that if I hear any further flippancy or any further vaguenesses in your answers, I shall take a very dim view of it.
Oh yes, very good, my lord.
What?
Vagueness, dim view, very funny, sir, very good.
Now then. No humour was intended, nor ever would be, in my courtroom, and I suggest you keep that in your mind at all times. Jokes are not allowed in here. Why did the chicken cross the road? Answer, it didn't, because it knew I would have had it arrested if it cooperated with the joke. You see? Now answer the question properly. Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Good. Now just sit down and please at least try to keep quiet. From listening to the charges presented, I am fully aware that you have a way with words.
What can I say? Talking costs little.
Sit down! Please. Prosecution, if you would be so kind as to call your first witness to the stand.
Yes, Your Honour. I call my first witness.
Do you swear that the evidence you give in this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do solemnly, sincerely, truly, and immaculately, as well as unreservedly, unashamedly declare, state, affirm, and announce, as well as enunciate and proclaim that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, the pure, unvarnished, spiritual, physical, ethical, and philosophical truth, and nothing but, Your Honour.
Well, that was reassuring.
Witness, please state your name, age, and direction.
I'm Aaron Challenge, 35, and I'm...
Wait. I'm sorry, prosecution. I feel I must once again interject. You said direction there. Did you not mean occupation?
I've done this before, thank you very much! And therefore, yes, I can word it that way if you prefer. Your occupation, a witness.
Accountant.
Your Honour, Mr. Challenge has proven himself among the Knightmare community to be the ultimate fan of the TV show. He knows every contestant that took part, every death that occurred, the amount of screen time each character got. The list is endless.
Oh. Well then, you might just as well end it there.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes!
Fine. Mr. Challenge, please state your testimony to the court.
I first heard about this spin-off on the Knightmare internet forums, where a young girl, who has asked me, by the way, to let it be known that she's free for any voice acting jobs available, with the exception of any that require a Scottish accent, because Scottish accents are very tricky to get right, and they can often come off as offensive, when that is in no way the intention. But other than that, she's very talented, really. Anyway, she discovered that Mark Knight, the actor who played Lord Fear, was returning to the UK in order to film for it. Soon more information came to light, and everyone became very excited for this episode. When it first appeared on YouTube, I could sense every Knightmare fan that existed on this earth, staring at their computer screens, just waiting for the most beautiful recreation of all time to appear before our eyes. But we were betrayed, ashamed, embarrassed, and utterly disgraced. For this no-good emo teen and his fellow Paramore band members ruined the entire thing. Why aren't all of them being charged, and why weren't children chosen to be the contestants? It completely goes against the traditions of the old episodes, acting like Knightmare was a show for grown-ups. It's blasphemy, I tell you, blasphemy.
Utter blasphemy!
Prosecution, once more I must rein you in. You appear to be leading your witness somewhat.
I was only repeating back to him what he said, my lord.
I heard you utter the word utter. I am fairly sure that the witness did not utter an utter at any time in his utterances.
I am sure he said utter, sir.
You're sure he said utter?
Utterly sure he said utter, my lad.
Oh, very well. I shall allow it. Mr. Challenge, what exactly did the defendant say or do in this video that has caused so much anger?
What he has done can be summed up like this. He applied to Stuart's first "Where am I?" question with "You're in a room."
How could he commit such a heinous sin?
You won't get away with this, Dan.
Yeah. Love you guys too.
Order! Order! Please be quiet. Pretty please. Mr. Howell, this is a very serious insinuation that has been made against you. Not least because it involves you telling a joke, and I have already told you what my view is of such behaviour. Do you have anything to say in your defence?
I was just, trying to stir up a bit of humour. That's not a crime. Literally everyone loves a few jokes.
That joke has been banned for years.
It's so old. This is more than enough proof that he isn't a real Knightmare fan. He shouldn't have had anything to do with the programme.
Order! Prosecution, your crowd is even worse than the defences. Dear, it reminds me of playing away at Sunderland. I shall clear the court if there are any further outbursts. Now, witness, I think I have already made clear my view of jokes, have I not? So if you want to appeal for clemency, you had best elaborate further, what?
I can. The defendant would constantly state the obvious in a sarcastic manner, always caused the rest of the team to panic when no danger was present, told the dungeoneer to fondle the table, and finally he has the nerve to laugh when the dungeoneer fell in the slice-me-dice-me room. He felt no shame in himself, especially since he clearly was one to blame for the dungeoneer's death, for not directing him right to the edge of the platform before telling him to jump. And that is why the defendant is guilty, Your Honour.
Your Honour?
I'm innocent. I never touched a dragon. He really is my nephew, I swear. I apologise. Well, I think the witness has presented more than enough evidence. You are free to go, Mr. Challenge.
Long live Knightmare.
Knightmare will rule forever.
Funhouse has nothing on us.
Order in the court. Moving on. Defence, I believe that you... Defence, what are you doing?
Oh, my nails. Why?
Defence, this is a court of law. Manicures and personal grooming have no place here.
Well, sorry. I got bored waiting for Dwayne Dibley over there to finish his speech. I mean, like, half of my crew is still asleep.
Ugh, fangirls. It's worse than being a Beatles concert in 1967.
Yes. Well, at least that's given us some quiet, what? Defence, I believe you have a witness?
Yep, I call her to the stand, blah, blah, blah.
Do you swear that the evidence you give in this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
In it, la?
Pardon?
In it?
May I take that as a yes?
Brutal, la?
What?
This dude for real? He don't talk nor a word of awesome.
Might I interject once more, Clark? Witness, you gonna be damn straight with us, or we give your big WA a whooping, you savvy?
PMSL, you awesome judge, la. I'm cool with it.
She said yes, Clark. Defence, please get on with it.
Okay, witness. ASL.
Pardon?
I said ASL.
And what, pray tell, is that supposed to mean?
If I may interject this time, Your Honour, I believe that is the abbreviation that youngsters use for age, sex, and location.
I see no need for that question. We are fully aware that the gender of the witness is female. We need her name and, for the last time, her occupation.
Alright, I was just about to say it, la. I'm Lola Roberts, 15, and I go to school. Well, I, watched the video whenever the edit was uploaded, and I can't believe Dan and Phil are being called emos. They make the best YouTube videos. I mean, ever. They're both so cute, and they were totally funny, and I can't see why all these people are getting in such a tiss over it. I mean, it was just for a little fun, and most of us only came to watch Dan and Phil. This Knightmare show barely looks any good anyways.
How could she say that?
This is serious blasphemy!
Your Honour! I request the witness should be removed at once and electrocuted. Dan hanged! Dan drawn and quartered! Dan thrown to the shark in the ballroom!
Order! This is now worse than playing away at Sunderland. Your request is denied, prosecution. Continue, Miss Roberts.
Well, I'd like to say that, if anything, that Dobby girl should be here, innit?
Pardon me, Dobby girl.
I believe she means Izzy Sooty, Your Honour. The woman who played the character of Daisy in the Knightmare GeekWeek episode.
Yeah, don't you remember, la? She swore.
She could have corrupted Phil's innocent mind.
She should be burnt at the stake.
We ship Dan and Phil forever!
Objection! Your Honour, if I may, I wish to present evidence to prove this alleged swearing is in fact falsehood.
Yes, certainly. Very well. Yes.
I present an analysis from a voice expert, specially trained in the arts of lip reading. He has confirmed that Izzy Sooty merely stated the word heck, and not the F word, as most people were led to believe.
May I see that?
Of course. Here you are.
Your Honour, I find this evidence to be of questionable reliability, given that this analysis seems to be all in one paragraph and to have been scribbled out in green pencil.
Are you questioning my sources?
Well, no, not at all. No. All I'm saying is that it looks completely unprofessional, badly worded, unofficial, non-scientific in content, and severely in need of at least 3 redrafts and a full typographical presentation, without such wholly inappropriate use of green pencil. Surely only an advanced paranoid could interpret that as questioning a source.
There is every chance the expert's pen ran out of ink, you know.
Well, I'm always glad for a plausible explanation. I shall allow the analysis to stand as evidence. Miss Roberts, do you have anything to add?
#fan!
Order in the court! Please stop it, will you? You lot, it's bad for my ulcer. Miss Roberts, you are free to go.
I guess I'm good to go now too, right?
I think not. Jury must first assess the evidence, and then a verdict must be reached.
But that could take hours. Come on, cut me a break.
The law does not deal in cutting breaks, as you like to call it. The prosecution has presented a valid case.
Hardly.
Defendant, you have upset people to the point of lunacy with your actions. The behaviour of the Knightmare fans here in this very courtroom is all the evidence I need of that. And you have further jeopardised this TV show's chances of having a full revival. Foreman of the jury, do you wish to bother retiring to consider your decision?
Nah, I think we've already seen enough, Squire.
Sound fellow. So, based upon the strong evidence that the prosecution has presented, how do you find the defendant? Guilty or incredibly guilty?
Squire, we find the defendant...
Hold it!
Oh, holy horses, now what?
I am Amelia Davidson, and I demand to be heard as a witness.
Prosecution objects, Your Honour. Of what right does this young person, yet another young person, have to burst into this court of law and make demands of it? Especially now! We are about to hear the verdict!
I have every right to demand I give a testimony. This court is about to deliver an inaccurate judgment. I can set the jury straight.
Unnecessary! One of the little shrieking fangirls from the defendant's posse has already testified. Why do we need to hear?
That is irrelevant, for you see, I am a Knightmare fan and a dinosaur.
How is this possible?
She's a member of both fandoms?
What sorcery is this?
Did she attend Hogwarts?
We ship Dan and Phil forever!
Order! Order, I say, or I shall hold you all in contempt. Oh, please shut up, all of you. I'm getting the burps here. Well, I do not wish to risk any avoidable miscarriage of justice. Therefore I simply cannot dismiss a witness who stands between both sides of the court. I shall allow the testimony to proceed.
Oh, no. Yes, Your Honour. Miss Davidson, do you...
Oh, yeah, I swear and all that malarkey.
Good enough for me.
Very well. Miss Davidson, was it? State to the court your age and occupation.
I'm 16, and I'm still in school. And before people begin to object, I know I wasn't alive when Knightmare first aired, but that doesn't stop me from being a fan of the show. And I may have discovered Dan Howell through the GeekWeek episode, but that doesn't stop me from being a devoted fan of his either. So I wish to state my argument without anyone thinking that I have no experience on either matter, which each fandom has clearly done to each other as seen on the YouTube comments.
Oops.
Now, I will start by admitting that the Knightmare GeekWeek episode was far from perfect. It wasn't what the Knightmare fans were expecting. Many of us were annoyed by Dan's attitude during the video, yes. But many of us doesn't mean all of us. Some of us decided to use our nouses and see beyond the fact that the contestants were YouTubers instead of children. We looked for the nostalgic qualities that the original show had to offer and just appreciated that this remake had actually been created. My fellow Knightmare fans, you'd all agree that something is better than nothing, right? Exactly, but I'm not finished just yet. To my fellow dinosaur fans, I can't help but partially blame you for all the anger that is stirred amongst the Knightmare fans. I have here a list of YouTube comments that I collected from the video. If the defence would care to read them out for me?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Oh, fan are so awkward, but I love them. Fan acting is cringeworthy, but also adorable. Hashtag fan forever.
You can stop there. You see, if the Knightmare fans try and scroll through the comments and come across all of these statements constantly referring to the fanship, then the anger will increase, as the last thing they want to see is squealing fangirls who only tuned into the video just because they can watch their little roommate couple sitting beside each other. I'm not saying I don't like Dan, far from it.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. But I'm saying that we should all respect each other's communities and not start comment wars whenever a Knightmare fan doesn't see the YouTubers the way you do, and vice versa, since I highly disapprove of them being referred to as emo teens. But I digress. Your Honour, I end my testimony by declaring that it is not Daniel James Howell that has caused this uproar in the Knightmare community, but rather the fandoms themselves.
Oops. Sorry, I just dropped my pen. But, yeah, great speech.
Wow, this girl's, totally got away with words.
She's right. We shouldn't keep making annoying comments.
Although it won't stop me from shipping Dan and Phil.
I suppose we're
the ones to blame.
No! I will not accept that this testimony is acknowledged. This girl is talking a daydream pile of new arcs. She is no Knightmare fan and has no right to question how we view this episode, or to accuse us of causing our own anger.
Prosecution, I really think you should calm...
Shut up! You cannot silence me. I have every right to express my opinion. Who do you think you are trying to reprimand me?
Well, look, it is my courtroom. I think that gives me one or two rights, Mr. Prosecutor.
What? You think just because you're a judge, you could decide everything that happens in here?
Well, there is a precedent for that, yes.
There is?
Yes, it's called the entirety of British legal history. Bailiff, please remove the prosecution from this courtroom and place him in In fact, forget that. I sentence the prosecution to be incarcerated at the Lunar Bin Asylum indefinitely. Take him away.
Fools! Madmen! You won't get away with this, Howell! I'll hunt you down to my dying day!
Order in the court before I get indigestion. Well, I must say, Miss Davidson, that was quite a moving testimony in most respects. Hardly a dry seat in the House. A most eloquent evaluation.
Thank you, Your Honour.
In light of this testimony, I think that there is no more arguing with the facts. This court finds the defendant, Daniel James Howell, not guilty. But Whilst you are cleared of the charges presented today, I am afraid, Mr. Howell, that you cannot leave this courtroom without punishment.
What? Are you joking?
Now, how many times do I have to tell you what I think of jokes?
Oh, yes. Sorry.
You see, I observed a very disturbing breach of our rules only a short while after you entered the courtroom. Could you please stand up and turn around for us? Right there. Your jeans have slipped and your pants are on display to the entire courtroom. Oh, please pull them up, man. Pictures of female wrestlers all over those things are enough to make my hair fall out.
But
No buts. You are hereby found guilty of extremely indecent exposure. Thus I sentence you to house arrest pending your completion of a marathon viewing of every single Knightmare episode from start to finish. This includes all the episodes in Season 4 without skipping over any of the identikit door monster scenes, and the Knightmare VR pilot.
He can't be serious.
Does this court have no mercy?
No!
Your Honour, surely that's a little excessive, is it not?
Do you think so? All right. We have 24 red-hot pokers and a rack in the basement. We can torture him with those instead. All right with you, Mr. Howell?
Oh, God bless you, sweet judge.